Today I'm going to be taking a look at this solar light in a jar. It's got a nice ornate piece of rope there, which is a bit dirty. But basically the problem is it's faulty. We've had it some time and I can see very quickly that there's a few things wrong with it. There's quite a lot of damp in there. So we'll pour the water out. There's quite a lot of water, you can see in there. It'll dispose of that and clean the jar up. So we'll shift his focus to this solar panel here. You can see it's a bit hazed over. The main thing is, does it work? So if we cover the solar cell and invert, we can't really see anything. One thing what did occur to me is to maybe repeat this test in a dark room, just in case there are any very faint signs of life that we cannot see in daylight. So I've repeated the test in a darkened room. You can see my hand there just in front of the door. There are no signs of life, so we'll go back outside and take a closer look. Given that this panel's got quite a bit of water infiltration, we'll open it up. You can see there's a couple of screws there which are quite rusted, so we'll remove them. See what's inside the Pandora's box. And we'll just remove it as so. Now we have a battery. And there's evidence of some corrosion inside there. Hopefully you can see the spring there's slightly corroded there, and the battery is not really in very well, I would say. Maybe it's worked loose, could just be poor assembly, who knows. So we'll do a couple of tests with a meter and see. So I've got my multimeter set to the 2-volt setting. I've got the cables in the correct order, and this the battery should be a 1.2 volt cell. So I'm going to place this probe here on the positive side of the battery and the negative side. And we do have a reading. There could be something intermittent going off there, I don't know, it could just be the connection. I can't really press hard into it to get a better connection. Oh yeah. Now if I do that, something strange happens. I'll just focus on the battery. And that's a lovely healthy little battery there. So we don't have any problems with that. So if we remove the battery, and we'll see if we do have any output from the solar cell. Bear in mind it's currently facing the table. Oh yeah, that's working an absolute treat. So what is the problem? Well, I can see there's a bit of corrosion on the LED. As long as that's a good soldered joint, it shouldn't really be an issue. It's looking to be quite well soldered on the reverse side, unless you get corrosion going down the leg of the LED. It could pay just to flash that with a soldering iron and reflow it. But it does look a really good soldered joint this side, so I'm going to assume. It's always dangerous assuming things. Assume it's good. Well, I have noticed there's quite a bit of corrosion on the battery. Definitely the negative side. So what I'm going to do, I've got a little bit of polish. I'm going to try and remove that with a bit of metal polish. Instead of scratching it off, we're going to be very gentle with this. I do actually know of another use for metal polish. We're going to try that. We can try that out in a bit. See what it can achieve. So that's looking a little bit cleaner for me. We'll do a bit more work on it off camera. So that's now looking a lot shinier, and it should be a good conductive surface instead of an intermittent one. So nextly we'll give this the same treatment. I may have to just scratch the spring up, but I think I can polish this side of things up quite well. So I've had a look at this and I thought, well, why not have a go at polishing the springy side up? I'll put a bit of polish on, and I've just gone really gentle with it. It's difficult. I don't really want to break anything. So I think we've got that nice and shiny now, so it's time for a bit of a clean up and then the rebuild. The transistor on the circuit board is really near that pillar, so I think it's been shoehorned in, but I am stuck with that because there is a switch there and it's not like we can just go turning things around. I'll insert the battery. And we're now working, which I'm really pleased about. So we've still got one unresolved issue here, and that is damp. It's somehow infiltrated this product, and when you look at the top, it might be an idea just to remove that, just to see what we're dealing with. And the bottom, there is actually coming apart. There is actually some adhesive. I don't think we will remove that. I think I've worked it out. The adhesive here is perhaps not sufficient to form a seal, and then water finds its way from the top straight through there, leading to a damp jar, and then the damp rises and slowly begins to destroy the circuit board and the electrical connections. So we'll do a reseal job on this and hope for the best once we've dried everything out. So I've just removed the top there. I actually used a watch removal tool which just slotted in there quite nicely. Worked my way around. Top came off a treat. So if the sealant's failed here, I think the best thing to do is reseal it, perhaps around the edges, to prevent water getting in the first place without relying on that as a seal. We can effectively improve the design of this product for the greater good. So we'll give everything a good clean up. So I've just used a damp bit of kitchen roll. Didn't want to put any water in it. And we'll get back to the other use I did mention earlier in the video for metal polish. Now, it's reported that it will buff up and shine the top of the solar panel, so we'll see if we can achieve that. Don't really want to work it in the crack. Well, I've spent a good 5 minutes buffing this out, and hopefully you can see on camera it came up absolutely lovely. It's just the corners are a little bit fiddly, so we'll then proceed to the resealing option I've conceived. Okay, I've got an idea what I want to do to repair this. There's a lump of adhesive here. I want to just carefully dig that out, and then we can lift the solar panel out there, and then I can successfully seal it. Well, unpicking the adhesive actually made life a little bit harder for myself. I removed the bulk of it from this side, but it exposed this corroded connection. There's just literally one thread of wire there, so it was going to fail anyway. That came detached from the solar panel, so I'll have to have a go at re-soldering that. So I'll just tin the wire, bed it back. Hopefully, I've never done this before, haven't I? What I'd consider to be a piece of glass. Or can take the heat out of the iron. We can get that. Oh, it's not having it. good. It was actually quite tarnished, which didn't help. So I've now got that resoldered and we'll proceed to reseal it. So I've got a bit of bathroom sealant. The plan is to use that to seal the panelling. It's like everything's hanging by a thread, so I just want to fill the innard with sealant so it's totally rainproof. I'll just put a blob in and I'm just going to invert this. I'll carefully pull the wires through as we go. Oh, it's fiddly this. Hopefully the blob will take over from where the glue left off. We'll press it down, it spreads it. Let's just remove the excess. Oh, yeah, should be very well sealed this. Big question is, does it still work? Now we've reassembled it, not too much punishment. We've got a nice bit of sealant most of the way around this solar panel, so that should make it a really weatherproof and improved and durable design. I've also taken the time to polish this up with a metal polish, so I'll just quickly rebuild it and we'll see if all works. So I've cleaned the glass part of the jar and the body and it's all looking nice and shiny. We'll just have to wait a little longer before we know the full effect. So I'm now in my darkened room and we can see it's a full-on repair. Hopefully this is an improved design on the original. Hopefully this will last for many years to come. Many thanks for watching. Why not subscribe to learn of more low-cost repair possibilities?